Well, hi once again to all my loyal YouTube subscribers, and thanks once more for returning to support my channel as we continue to unearth more classic vintage and even unusual off-road dirt bikes. Now this time round we're going to look at a picture slideshow of a machine I came across while at an event in Northern Ireland some time back. So hope you'll stay with me for at least the next 10 minutes as we check out Cecil Pearson's very unique 500 Jawa Husaberg Special. Now almost straight away you can see that this bike is certainly not a very recognisable machine as far as Jawas and even Husabergs go, and that's mainly because this is a bit of a one-off mongrel put together by the king of Irish classic racing, Cecil Pearson from Bangor in Northern Ireland. Now you may be more familiar with Cecil's other classic dirt bike machines, his lovely collection of Rickman Jap Scramblers that I've featured many times here on my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel, and this one-off machine is just another bike that Cecil put together to complement and add to his already impressive Jap collection. But starting with the frame, now the chassis is from a later 1990s Husaberg motocross machine, and there's been some radical engineering gone into preparing the Swedish Husaberg frame to get it ready to accept the 500 Jawa motor. Now I'm not going to go into the details of the frame preparation, but it's suffice to say it was very long and intensive. But basically the bike's engine is a 500cc later 4-valve Jawa Speedway motor, which is mated to a British-made Norton AMC gearbox. Now the motor also has a dry clutch, as of course many of these Jawa Speedway engines had back in the day, and the engine also runs on a methanol or dope, as it's sometimes known in the speedway circles. Now the methanol fuel is fed in luscious quantities to the cylinder by this big bore Italian-made Dell'Orto carburetor. Now when the juice is in full flow and this big Jawa motor is doing its stuff on the track, then the fuel flows through this venturi like the proverbial waterfall. Now the sparks for the ignition on this machine are supplied by this magneto, and not as per Cecil's other Jap bikes, which run on a total loss interspan ignition system. Now, as I mentioned previously, a dry clutch on this Jawa engine, although as you can see Cecil has fabricated this cover to keep dirt and other foreign bodies from entering its very delicate workings. Now the bike's rear swing arm was one of the parts on the machine that I couldn't actually get any details about, but I have it from a good source that this could possibly also be a Husaberg rear swinging arm. But this rear drive sprocket, chain, swing arm and suspension have got a lot to cope with the power from this big 500cc methanol breathing Jawa motor. Now the gearbox is a Norton AMC gearbox, and Cecil has come up with a very innovative modification for the gear shifter using this old primary chain which moves the selector back from its original position to allow the footrest on the frame to be in just about the right spot. But very radical and very functional. Now, a dry sump, of course, on this engine with the oil housed inside the frame, which is then run down these oil feed pipes into this oil feed pump, which pumps the oil around the engine and, of course, out onto the ground, hence the title Total Loss Lubrication System. Now, the reason why Cecil used these Rickman body panels, seat and tank on his new build is mainly because Cecil's other machines, his 1930s Jap motors, have these Rickman frames with these body panels, and the chances are that Cecil had spare parts for these bikes in his workshop and has just utilised them to put on to his new Jawaberg creation. Now, the front end of Cecil's new bike has had a pair of 50mm white power heavy duty forks attached to that Husaberg frame. Now, these suspension dampers are very strong and able to cope with anything that this bike will come up against on the racetrack. But they're very good quality suspension systems, these white power forks, and they should be able to give the lucky rider of this bike some good feedback from that bike's front end. Now, when these pictures were taken, the bike had a single white power rear shock fitted, although I've now heard that this has been recently changed to a much higher quality Öhlins rear shock. Now, this big bore exhaust system is most certainly a Cecil Pearson trademark, as he has made many similar pipes for his machines in the past. Now, no rear silencer, of course, just a straight through big bore pipe, so you can just imagine what sort of sound comes out of that pipe when that big methanol breathing Jawa motor fires into life. But of course, this Jawa Husaberg will be added to these other machines in Cecil's collection, his beautiful collection of Rickman Jap machines. 1960s frame, of course, with the 1930s Jap motors. Now, this machine is never going to win the most handsome looking dirt bike award anytime soon, although then again, it was never built to be a glamorous garage queen, so don't let this bike's weird and obscure looks fool you. It may look as ugly as sin, but believe me when I tell you that this bike can certainly hustle around a racetrack. Now, Cecil, of course, doesn't ride this machine himself, and it's not because he can't, it's because mainly due to him being retired from racing, and besides, it's the building and maintaining his fleet of classic scramblers is where his real passion now lies. And besides, Cecil has a team of younger riders who regularly race this bike and his other Jap scramblers he has in his collection. But if you ever get a chance to see Cecil's Jap scramblers and their riders in action on the track, then make a point of checking them out, because you won't be disappointed. But anyhow, here is the master bike builder himself, the king of Irish classic motocross racing, Cecil Pearson. But if you'd like to know more about this Jawa machine and Cecil's other Jap scramblers, then there are plenty other videos here on my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel that you may want to check out. So hope you've enjoyed having this very brief look at Cecil's 500cc Jawa Husaberg Special. Now look out for more classic dirt bikes coming soon to my TV channel. This video was brought to you in association with WorldSport, the world's #1 supplier for all your off-road and leisure sportswear. Just visit their online website for more information.